37 years, Land Rover has gotten off their backsides long enough to make a new model of the off-road king, the Defender. This is how the Land Rover Defender says hello. So of course, Land Rover had to do something different. So you know there's a new boy in town. So they went for the half-moon daytime driving lights with the double rectangles on the edge. It's a strong look, a memorable look, something that will soon become an iconic look in your rearview mirror. Now, generally, they have gone for the idea of muscle and strength. This is a beast. And you will understand soon when I tell you what is hidden under the bonnet. But before we get to that, the look of it introduces you to the power that is promised by this car. The Land Rover badge and the Defender properly stated over 4 levels of aerodynamic vents to ensure that the engine is cooled and to ensure that no matter what speed this car goes at, there is enough ventilation in there to keep things alive. Now, the geometric shaping of the vents all go towards the image of strength, of properly calculated and calibrated design, which reminds you of what the original Defender was like. It was strong, it was hard, it was built for purpose rather than beauty. But this time around, somehow, they've added beauty to the functionality. Now have a look at this. This looks like something you would see on a factory floor. That's the idea they are going for. Industrialized strength, hidden in beautiful clamshell-shaped beauty. Okay, so that's the general look you get when you look at this car. You remember what the original Land Rover Defender looked like. Remember, it had that high skirt around the bottom of the windshield. They've done it again. Once again, they've gone for that functional ridging, okay, which reminds you of the original. So even though they've modernized some of the vents on the side, and I really like this Defender vent here, which sort of adds it to the modern Range Rover family, the modern Land Rover family. Even though they've done touches like that, they have kept the originality of that strong monster that you are likely to see bouncing over rocks just as much as floating over asphalt. Now the design incorporates so much aerodynamism to ensure that this car can cut through traffic, cut through air like a knife through butter. Now I want you to have a look at how far forward flung these wheels are. The tires are almost all the way at the front of the car. Such a short clearing space means that this car can overcome obstacles a lot easier than many others. All right, because the tires are right here at the front. The tires will go over the obstacle long before any of the car's undercarriage touches it. It means that your car will certainly last longer and you can best the highest of speed ramps without breaking a sweat. I'm still tickled pink every time I see the Land Rover badge. I mean, this is the Rolex of 4x4s, all right? Now, the Land Rover Defender in particular is remembered fondly. I mean, for 35 years, it has built such a reputation for itself as a hard-bodied, never breaking down 4x4. So, of course, the new model has to remind those who fell in love with the old model over 37 years, has to remind them of the little features that made it special. So the double square lights have been retained, but then they've given you something more modern to complement it. The bigger square rear headlights. So now when you switch on the traffic indicators, all 4 lights will flash beautifully. Let me show you what they've done in the back space. First of all, Unlike every other four-wheel drive that has to open upwards and you have to grapple with your luggage and your baggage, this one, they've remembered their roots, they've gone back to basics, and they open like a proper door, all the way out. Now check out the rear. This is the first part of the interior that I want to introduce you to. Once again, the sight of utility everywhere you look. This is scratch proof. You can throw things in here and just wipe off the effects. They've done that for the back as well. Somebody is thinking, you know, because often they put leather on the back of these and they get damaged over time, but somebody has kept the utilitarian look all the way through, and it is packed with features. You can control your own climate over here. You've got charging ports everywhere you look. This car is full of charging ports. All right, now it's a 7-seater. So you've got 2 extra seats here, which activate like this. So simple. It's still got enough leg room so that a full adult can sit comfortably in the back. But so much space for your luggage when you need it. All right, now come and let me show you this. All right. You know, sometimes you've got luggage, your hands are full, and this thing is a little too high for you to lift heavy items into it. Well, they've thought of that. So now you can lower the suspension at the touch of a button right here, and you see the car going down smoothly all the way down, so you can load your stuff in there. And when you're done, you can bring it all the way up very quickly, in fact. There you go. And up we go. Simple utility. Somebody is thinking about what you need. But then also, they've remembered their roots. They've remembered all the original things that made the Land Rover beautiful. Now, on the old Land Rover Defender, you remember all those nuts and bolts on the outside of the car? They want you to remember them, so they brought them to the inside of the car. So now you've got your nuts and bolts everywhere to remind you of the roots of this almighty off-roader. I have no doubt you want to see the inside of the car now, right? So let's get to it. Oh, and they've thought of everything, including soft shut. Now, everywhere you look, you see signs of quality, all right? This is built to last, which is the general idea with the Land Rover Defender. You would be shocked to learn that out of all the Defenders ever made, about 70% of them are still on the road. And that's over a period of 35 years. Now, this is a comfortable place to spend some time. If you're the modern executive who has to travel to the village every now and then, this is really the car for you. On Ghana roads, there is no car that can best the roughness in more comfort and style than this one, and I'll put my money on that. It's a comfortable place. I am 6 feet tall, but as you can see, there's more than enough leg room for a tall man like me to sit comfortably for however long the journey may be. Now, the signs of durable build are everywhere. They've gone for the simple functionality. Leveled things out so you can find everything easily. You've got your own 2-way climate control, and by the way, this car has a 4-zone climate control, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. So for the 2 people in the back, you can control your own climate with these knobs over here, okay? So that if you're hot and someone else is cold, everybody remains happy. All right, now they've thought of everything. Into the luxury, they've built functionality so you can get your seats fixed very easily into these ISOFIX provisions right here in the back, so that you can keep an eye on your little ones as you drive along in the safest place to maneuver through traffic. Welcome to the cockpit of the Land Rover Defender. Now, after 37 years, you would expect that, of course, they would upgrade things by leaps and bounds, and they have. They've brought in the best from the Range Rover, from the Land Rover Discovery, and they've made this place a very, very comfortable place to be. But still, they've kept that utility feel so that you realize everything around you is there for a purpose. Now, I won't lie, the finishing is not as luxurious as a Range Rover, but it's functional. They've gone for the Windsor leather pack, which means that this leather will last for years. This is some durable quality cowhide that they've put together to make this a very comfortable but still well-built and functional space. Let me talk you through a bit of the technology. Okay, first of all, they've given us a console, an entertainment console that has pretty much everything anyone could ever possibly need in a vehicle. So we've got navigation, which is powered by Google. So it comes with your maps. You can find the nearest filling station. It comes up with a full list powered by the internet of the nearest filling stations. You can pick one and go straight to it. Not just that, but you can type in your home address, your work address, whatever it is that you need to find on the navigator is here and ready at your fingertips to be used. Now, let me show you what else this console can do. So it first of all saves all the contacts from your phone. You can make phone calls on the go, and of course you can connect either to the iPhone or you can listen to radio. And no doubt 99.7 FM is ready to go. This is a smart car. It knows what I want to listen to. If I prefer, I can certainly choose my phone as the source, and yeah, it's right there. So what you're hearing right now is the 20 speaker surround Meridian sound system. 20 speakers and one subwoofer. So you know you've got beautiful sound, whatever genre you're listening to. Now they've made it such that this system will allow you to essentially set things up however you want it. When you go to your audio settings, you can literally move the center of the music to any part of the car that you want. Right now, the passenger behind me is getting the most of the music. I can move it so that the one behind the passenger seat gets it. Or I can bring it up front, or I can be selfish and keep it to myself. And if I have a baby in the car, she can sleep soundly while I'm jamming to Sarkodie. All made with you in mind by the Land Rover Discovery. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about what's available to you by way of technology in this wonderful new system that's been set up. So you have a great menu here of all kinds of settings, from eco data to tell you how economically you are running the car, and it's got a very economical engine I'll introduce you to in a moment. You can have your 4x4 settings. You can set your climate, and I told you there are 4 climate zones in this car. These 4. So driver's seat, passenger seat, and the 2 rear settings, the center and the back. Okay, so 4 climate zones, and they are controlled by these knobs right here. Okay, now the suspension. The suspension is a thing of beauty. What they've done is they've added the air suspension to the Land Rover instead of the coil suspension that used to be on the original Defender. So the air suspension means that whichever terrain you are on, this car is intelligent enough to give you the exact setting you need to navigate it. Okay, now it comes up on your screen in a series of menus. So it's currently on the Comfort program, which means that it will choose the right setting for whichever terrain. Okay, but there are many other programs that you can choose from, like you could go for the grass, gravel, or snow setting. You could go for any of the others, which include, thankfully, the sand setting. You can go for rocks as well if you need to crawl over rocks. Now the Wade program is beautiful. So beneath each of the 2 rear view mirrors is a sensor that will tell you how deep you are in water. Right, now they have brought the gear stick from the Range Rover Sport. Okay, so all the settings are very easy to find. You hit it forward and you're in reverse. You have to press the button in the front and then hit it forward, and then you're in reverse, and immediately your cameras come on. Now let me tell you about the cameras. There are 5 cameras on this car, so you can see any direction that you wish to. Okay, so there you go. That's the camera in the front right-hand corner of the car. There's one directly in front. Now this camera is brilliant. When you're driving along on rocky terrain, this camera is facing directly out of the bonnet, and it shows you everything you're about to drive over. okay? So that you don't have to rely on just what your windscreen shows you. You can look straight down through the engine to the front of the car and see whatever you're about to drive over. All right, there are several other angles that you can have: the front left, and of course the rear cameras, rear left, rear center, and rear right. It's beautiful, and it just makes driving easy. Now, of course, this is the drive mode. Now, if you want to go sporty on this car, and this car has some pull when you go into the sport mode, you kick it to the side and you're in sport. This is what you need when you need to overtake and quickly get in front back into your own lane. This one will make you do it like a jiffy, letting the power source feed power to the necessary wheels to move you as fast as possible through traffic, round the car, to the front, and off you go. Of course, to park, you press the top button, the P, and we're safe. Now, again, the utilitarian look of this car is amazing. There are things to grip. Depending on where you're driving, which terrain you're on, you might need something to hold on to. It's all very firmly built for your pleasure. And you remember that it had these features in the original. What they've done is they've modernized them, make them look smoother and certainly more comfortable. I mean, look at this armrest. Is this not luxury? Where else will you find this? Perhaps in a Maybach. But of course, they've put it in this all-useful Defender. The car has a cooler, a fridge, so you can keep some cool drinks when you need to go out of town. You need to travel long distances. There's a cooler here so you can keep your drinks. Right? There's a charger for your phone. You put it there and it immediately starts to charge once you set up the charger. There you go. My phone is charging and I don't even have to connect any wires to it. That's beauty. That's comfort. That's efficiency. Let me introduce you to the all-new Defender steering wheel. Okay, so what they've done is they've set up what looks like a computer control pad. You've got your phone in the corner. You've got your menu settings so you can clear the screen, and it shows you what your suspension is doing, so you can physically choose your settings just by looking at the little demonstration image there. And you've got your controls for your volume. You can start your tracks again with that, or you can go back to an earlier one. These are all designed for your comfort. Of course, now you've got your drive controls on the right hand side. So you've got cruise control and you've got the lane control, which is brilliant. When you're driving, it will make you stay in your lanes. If you try to veer out of a lane, it will push you back in using the radar sensors all around the car. Okay, a brilliant invention there. And of course, you've got your cruise control settings right there, just like most modern vehicles. This is a comfortable, easy, straightforward car. Now, let me tell you this is brilliant. It's got your car seat memory settings over here. You've got memories 1, 2, and 3. So you can have your own car seat settings saved by the car. So every time you come in and you press number 1, if that's where you save your settings, it will set up the steering wheel and the seat to the settings that you saved for yourself. Your wife can save, or your husband can save theirs to number 2, and the driver could save his to number 3. And everybody gets the best comfort every time they sit in this vehicle. They've thought of everything. I've got to tell you, they have brought luxury home with this car in a way that has never before been seen. It's a place you will want to spend time. And I must be fair and say it is not as comfortable as the Range Rovers or even the Land Rover Discovery. But the Defender still does the job, and it does it in enough style for you to not notice that you're not lying in a jacuzzi. Now, the Defender engine comes in 2 options. You can either have the 3-liter engine, which generates 400 brake horsepower or you can have the 2-liter engine, which will give you 300 brake horsepower. Now, these are modern engines, all right? So even though they are smaller than you would imagine, you still get a lot more power from it. Plus, this is an eco-friendly engine. It gives you far fewer emissions, which means that you don't have to walk around feeling guilty that you are polluting the environment while you're speeding your way down the road. This car is probably far more economical than your little hatchback that you've got parked at home. You know, when you're listening to this engine idling, what you are hearing is promise. It's the promise of the power that this beast is just holding back. And if you dare touch that pedal hard enough, this thing will take you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.1 seconds. So it took them 37 years to get here. But now the Land Rover Defender has arrived. And it's arrived in a style that cannot be overstated. Look, in the past, the Land Rover Defender was a big, boxy, metal-sheeted monster, riveted together with nuts and bolts, so that if any part of it got damaged, you could take that part off, go and fix it, and bring it back. It was designed for the desert. They have not lost that toughness, but what they've done is they've added civilization to it. And now this vehicle is not a diesel-guzzling beast. It is a calm, collected, powerful, little, poised viper. This car will travel 100 kilometers on only 9.9 liters of petrol. Now tell me, is that not modern motoring? It's now at your fingertips, right here in Accra. Already, every single one that was ordered has been bought, but maybe that means you need to order quickly. If you are a fan of strength and beauty, I don't know where you will find a better combination of those two than in the brand new Land Rover Defender. They kept us waiting, but it was worth it. So today, we're learning how to maintain our vehicles with tips from Charles Inkum. Now, he's a service manager here at Alliance Motors. Of course, they are the official dealers for Jaguar Land Rover. Charles, it's great to see you.
Nice seeing you.
Now, Charles, I've got to say, not everybody is car savvy. But when you have a problem, you go to a mechanic to help you solve it. And it's difficult to tell whether the mechanic you're seeing is properly qualified and knows what he's doing or not. Would you say there are some signs, some tips that a car owner can use to determine whether the mechanic they are dealing with is safe or dangerous?
Sometimes some may look at appearance, which may be deceptive, but a good mechanic should have the product knowledge. So if you try to interrogate a mechanic and you see the level of understanding about the product that he's working on, it's a good sign for you to know whether he can actually fix the car or not. And one good thing is if you come to a dealership, or you buy from the dealership, you have a 5 years warranty stuff. We have maintenance free, 5 years. So it's like you buying the car, it's a peace of mind. All that you need to do is just drive the car, if there's any problem, come to the dealership. Either you qualify for a warranty or you qualify for a free service. So this kind of headache, whether you're going to now investigate a mechanic to see whether he's competent or not, save that trouble. Come to the showroom, buy from the dealership, and you're free to go.
Well, you heard it from Mr. Charles Inkum, service manager here at Alliance Motors. So check all your levels every day. Every day. Also, make sure that whoever you give your car to has the product knowledge that can look after your vehicle for you. But if all else fails, come and see him. Maxwell Nyame is a product specialist here at Alliance Motors. Let's learn a little bit more about the Defender. Maxwell, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Why would you say this car is so special?
Well, if you look at the Defender, it reminds you, the front view of the Defender reminds you so much of its capabilities, its toughness, it's ready to go. Look, it's monstrous view you get from the front. And when you break the Defender down, you realize that it's been introduced with beautiful technologies, like for example, the infotainment system, which is now PV Pro. PV Pro is a new technology that got its inspiration from today's this 21st century technology. In this world right now, the whole world is moved by our smartphones and devices, and this is what we have for you in the new Defender. And if you pay attention to it, you realize that it's properly interactive. So it keeps everybody in the car entertained and, most importantly, connected.
Now, of course, the one question everybody wants an answer to.
Yes.
How much is the new Defender?
I would say the new Defender is priceless. But actually, with how all of our products sit, you have the opportunity to build your vehicle. You have an opportunity to put yourself in any price brackets. We have them in so many variants, and they all come with their prices. So once you're speaking to anybody here in Alliance Motors, you would surely get what fits your budget and satisfies you properly. And also, I mean, for payments, we have so many payment packages. We have a 3-year payment plan. We have trade-ins, and so you really come here, you can't go back unsatisfied.
Wonderful. So what would be a price range? What would be the starting price, and how high can it go?
You can get a Defender for as low as under 100,000, and you can build your own Defender to get it a price of about close to 200,000.
Okay, so yes. Between $100,000 and $200,000.
Yes.
Wow.
You can have your Defender.
Listen, you've really whet our appetite. I'm so excited. 37 years in the making, and I can't wait to see these cars on our streets.
You should grab one as well.
Don't tempt me.
You definitely should.
Don't tempt me.
You definitely should.
Maxwell, you're very kind. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too.